So I've been wanting to talk about this for a minute because, baby, I genuinely don't get it. Why do when some men hear I'm a lesbian, somehow they translate that until convince me? Like, what part of I don't date men sounded negotiable? Because I'm not confused, I'm not hurt, I'm not waiting on the right man for a man to come rescue me. Like I'm some princess in a tower just waiting on that because that is what my whole life evolves around, a man 24/7. I just don't want men. And somehow that's the hardest thing for certain people to accept. Let's start here because honestly, this is where all the shit starts. Some men don't believe in lesbian or lesbianism. They don't feel like it's a real thing. The second you tell them that you're a lesbian, they don't accept that information. They immediately replace it with a story that makes more sense to them. Like, it's just a phase, or she hasn't met the right guy. Somebody haven't given it to her good enough yet. She got hurt. She'll grow out of it. And what gets me, nobody says this type of shit to straight men. Nobody walks up to some of y'all and say, you know what? You don't really like women. You just haven't met the right guy yet. A man can say, I like women, and nobody goes, are you sure? When a woman says she a lesbian and suddenly somebody that knows her for 10 damn minutes think they figured her whole life out. Now they're diagnosing you, making up childhood trauma, creating an entire backstory you never asked for. Like, why, baby? I've been in this body my whole life. I know what I like. I know what I want, and I know what I don't like, and I know what I don't want. I know what I'm attracted to. I knew before I even had the vocabulary to even know what it was. You're not listening to what I'm saying. You listen to what you wish was true. And once you convince yourself I don't really mean what I said, everything after that makes sense in your own damn head. Next is the ego. Because a lot of the time it's not about the woman. It's about the fact that some people truly can't handle the word no, especially when the no isn't personal. Think about it. If a woman says, I'm not interested, you could tell yourself it's bad timing. She had a bad day. Maybe she wasn't ready. Maybe she's seeing somebody else. You know, whatever helps you sleep at night. When she says, I'm a lesbian, there's nothing to negotiate. There's nothing to improve, nothing to fix. You don't have nothing to fall back on. There's no version of you that suddenly becomes the right answer for her. And for some people, that absolutely destroys their ego. So instead of accepting it, they try to make it out of a challenge. I bet I can change your mind. Sir, what can you change exactly? Because unless you got some breasts and a cat between those legs, you cannot change my mind. Where do you think we're going in with this conversation? They think persistence is romance. And somehow, I do blame some of you straight women for this. Some men genuinely believe that refusing to give up is attractive. And honestly, I blame straight women and I blame movies. How many times have we watched a guy be rejected by a woman that truly did not want him or was not into him over and over again, only for the woman to magically fall in love with him at the end of the damn movie? See, people grew up watching that. Now they think persistence equals romance. So when I say I'm a lesbian, oh, they don't hear me. And they just wait for the part in my life where I realized that they was the one all alone. Baby, this isn't Netflix. This is not Hulu. I'm not playing hard to get. I'm not testing your confidence. I am telling your ass the truth. And every time you keep pushing after that, you're not being confident. You're being fucking annoying. Showing me that you don't listen, and that shit is unattractive. And let's be real, being more unavailable makes them want you more. I know a lot of lesbians ask this question. It's so many straight women. Why they won't go with the straight women? Because the straight women are too available. Now, this one makes people uncomfortable because it's true. For certain men, finding out that you're a lesbian makes them interested in you more. Not because they suddenly like you more. Not because they learn something new about your personality. Because now you're unavailable. And some people want what they can't have. So instead of saying she's not available, their brain goes, well, how can I be the exception? Now they create this whole fantasy in their head where they change the lesbian's mind. And the crazy part, you're not even a real person anymore. You're a goal, a trophy, a story they want to tell to their friends, to their homeboys. And honestly, that's worse than somebody having a crush on you. Because they're not seeing you. They chasing the idea that they made up. And that goes into the next one. They think they the exception. You just haven't met me yet. Baby, bye. I done seen 20,000 fuck niggas before. Honestly, where does this confidence even come from? I'm genuinely asking, out of 8 billion people, you have decided that you are the plot twist that's going to make me change my mind. And you've known me for 25 minutes. You don't even know my last name. But somehow you convinced that your entire existence will override my sexuality. Like, be serious. And honestly, I don't believe that these type of people are bad. Sometimes they believe that they're different enough to change you. They believe that it's something special inside of them that will make you change your mind. But here's the thing, there's nothing broken, nothing confused, nothing waiting to be fixed. So stop trying to fix it. I'm not standing at the edge of discovering I'm straight. I know exactly who I am. Next, they make it about themselves. And then when none of that works, some men take that shit personally. Like my sexuality is somehow an attack on them. And that's where I completely check the fuck out. Because now we're having two different conversations. You could be be attractive, funny, successful, kind, emotionally mature. You could genuinely be a great guy and it still wouldn't matter, because who I'm attracted to isn't based on who deserves a chance. It's not a graded system. It's just who I am. So when somebody makes my sexuality about themselves, that's their issue and not mine. My identity existed long before I fucking knew you. Next, nobody owes you a chance. And this one is probably the biggest point. Nobody owes you a chance. Not because you're nice, not because you're a great guy, not because you're attractive, not because you're successful, not because you've been respected. None of that guarantees attraction. Attraction isn't a reward. It's not something people earn. You don't collect enough good behavior points until somebody finally says yes. That's not how human beings work. When somebody tells you no, that's the answer. You don't get to decide whether their reason is good enough. Now, I know a lot of men are going to be in the comments say, well, it's a lot of lesbians that end up back with men. Okay, and that's good for her. Maybe she discovered something new about herself. Maybe her journey looked different. That's completely valid. But one person's experience doesn't cancel everybody else's. People are different. That literally all that proves. There are women that know exactly who they are. There are women that still struggling with their sexuality. There are women that wants absolutely nothing to do sexual with a man. And I'm one of them. So if I'm kind to you, if we have a good conversation, if I smile, if I'm friendly, please don't confuse basic human decency with flirting. I'm just being a normal damn person. And honestly, here's the part that takes me out every single time. Why are you trying so hard to convince a lesbian when there are millions of straight, desperate women who actually want a man? Like, wouldn't your energy be better spent actually talking to women who are attracted to me? I mean, that seems way less stressful. Instead, you're chasing a woman that already gave you the answer and get mad about it. That's not confidence. That's not riz. That's not persistence. That's refusing to accept reality. Go where you want it. Then everybody fucking wins. Everybody doesn't have to want everybody, and that's okay. Go find the person who actually wants you. Because I promise, your odds are a whole lot better over there. There are women who actually want a boyfriend. They're on their knees praying for one right now. Praying for consistency. Praying for a text back from some of y'all. Women who genuinely appreciate your presence, your attention. They're right there, available, interested. Meanwhile, you're trying to convince one woman who already told you she was gay. Go where you're celebrated. Go where your effort has a chance. Go where somebody is excited to see you. There are plenty of women out there looking for a man, and we are not those women.